Now let's talk about how to plan a meeting, and then we'll talk about how to attend or run a meeting if you're in charge of it. Your textbook lays out a flow chart on how to plan a meeting, and the first step is to identify your purpose. What is it you're trying to accomplish? And do you actually need to hold a meeting to do this, which is step 2, determine whether a meeting is necessary. If all you're trying to do is hand out information to people and you don't need to explain it and you don't expect them to ask questions, then you can just send them an email. You don't need to meet. Okay? Step 3, decide who needs to attend the meeting. It may be more than just the people who are in the group. It may be some other people need to be brought in to answer questions or get approvals. Then you prepare an agenda. An agenda lays out step by step, this is what we're going to cover in the meeting, and you list all of the topics. That agenda gets sent out, usually through email, to everyone who's attending, usually a week before the meeting, but at least a few days before, so everyone knows what's going to be covered. They have time to prepare and get ready or bring any information they need to bring. Then you arrange the logistics, the actual mechanics of the meeting, which we'll talk about next. There are different types of meetings, and obviously the logistics you use for each type is going to vary. Now, there is no one best form of meeting. Obviously, face-to-face gives you the richest media. You can see and hear people and read their facial expressions, but it could be very time-consuming and expensive to run a face-to-face meeting. So you might do a voice meeting, an audio conference call, which is usually fast and cheap, but you don't get any visuals. You might do a video-based conference where you have Skype, for example, but then you don't have access to documents. A web-based meeting, which is kind of like Zoom, you can show documents and share documents and put different presentations on the screen. Which one you use depends on your situation and what you need to accomplish, but obviously the logistics are going to change for each one as well. If it's a face-to-face, you're going to need to have a place to hold it, and if it's a web-based one, you need to make sure everyone has the right technology. When you're participating in a meeting, you need to make sure you arrive on time and you're prepared for the meeting. Okay, you need to silence your phone. Don't bring food unless it's supposed to be like a lunch meeting. Make sure you introduce yourself to anyone you don't know, and then participate fully and practice active listening skills. Okay, when you have something to say, make sure it's constructive input, and if you disagree, make sure you're respectful and you focus on the issues, not on personalities. With virtual meetings, make sure you've checked out the technology, you have downloaded whatever software needs to be downloaded, you practice with it, and then minimize background noise. We usually mute anyone who's not speaking, and really try to avoid multitasking because that can really distract you when you're in a meeting. Now, if you're running the meeting, you have 2 main goals. One is to keep the meeting on track and follow the agenda. The second is to keep the conversation positive, constructive, and related to the topics, and make sure people are focusing on the issues, not on any personal relationship that they might or might not have. And that's really your goal, is to try and keep the meeting within the time limit, try and get through the material, but at the same time, make sure you're getting quality input from everyone there.